Basketball, dude. It's going crazy right now.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can even keep up with all the rumors right now. I just pulled up my Instagram, and Danny Green just got traded to the Sixers.
Yeah.
So the draft is going on right now. Klay Thompson is injured.
Yeah.
Uh, Anthony Davis hasn't signed. Man, I don't know. There's so much going on.
Yeah, dude, it's so much, right? And then the draft, right, is tonight.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited to see where Lamelo ends up. I
I,
actually seen Lonzo Ball at Guitar Center last week. I went over there to buy a couple things, and Lonzo Ball was there purchasing a microphone stand. So he's on his rap game also.
but yeah, they're D'Angelo Russell, man, he's a beast with especially with the Nets, the way that he was playing. I think he elevated himself to another level, right? He was their best player, and he showed that every night, just scoring and just going off and making the passes as a point guard. And that's why when he got traded, uh, he like he made an impact with the Golden State Warriors as well, while the main players were injured. So it was cool to see him just kind of step his game up. I always liked his game, but he wasn't a superstar. But I felt like he elevated himself to that level the last few years.
I liked him too. I thought he was real smooth with the ball. You know, he was just in a tough position at that point. You know, we still had Kobe, so
Hmm.
it was tough to really kind of hand the keys over to D'Angelo. But plus LA is a tough place to be a rookie like that, man.
Oh yeah,
LA's a tough place. I mean, you see what's happening to Kuzma right now,
yeah,
where another team, Kuzma would probably be blowing up right now, just like Brandon Ingram and Lonzo
yeah.
in New Orleans. But LA is a tough place to grow up. So
Yeah, yeah, and I remember seeing a story where Brandon Ingram was talking about how stressful it was being part of the Lakers, right? Because there is a lot of pressure with the organization and the fans that comes along with being in the team. So it's not just basketball. You got Hollywood and you got a lot more going on here. So it can be tough for a rookie for sure.
yeah, and man, we haven't even mentioned congrats, man. 2 championships for the city. We're officially, 2020 has been a crazy year, and in that we get 2 championships for our city. What a
Yeah.
crazy and there's the Rams are in like in a position that it's possible too. I'm hearing, so that'd be crazy.
Yeah, no, sports have definitely been a good distraction for especially Los Angeles, but in general, it's been nice to have sports, basketball in the bubble, and then baseball kind of figuring its way, through COVID, even though they had, some of that stuff spreading, but the Dodgers finally being able to break through and get a World Series was nice. So good stuff for LA for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. What are you seeing with the Lakers with Schroeder? What do you think about that?
That's I love that move, man. I'm a big fan of Schroeder. I always liked his speed. He's so quick, man. Just watching him play, I always looked at that. I was always just amazed at how fast he was. And the Lakers, they haven't really had a point guard. They haven't had a superstar point guard in a long time, and all the other point guards that have come around, they're good players, right? Like they had Fisher, right? Right now they have Rondo, like they're good players, but they're not superstars. And Schroeder is not a superstar either, but he's a great player. So I think that he's gonna bring just a different level of speed to the game, which the Lakers love playing like that, right? With transition offense and getting those easy buckets and long passes after the rebounds. So I think he's gonna be a huge part in continuing that like playmaking style that they have.
The main thing that stands out to me about him is that how hard he plays. He looks like he just plays hard, and
Hmm.
he just plays hard, and that goes a long way. And I
Yeah.
think you match that with LeBron. I think we're gonna be okay. I think it's definitely an upgrade from Danny Green. No, no disrespect to Danny Green, but I feel like he was a little bit of a shell of what he was for the Spurs and for the Raptors. He definitely wasn't himself last year. So I think Schroeder is definitely a step above that. I don't think we gave up much. We didn't really give up anything. If anything, we're gaining. And now I think all eyes are on Rondo right now, right? We're
Yeah.
waiting to see what Rondo does. Um, really hoping he doesn't go to the Clippers, man.
Yeah.
I'm hearing Atlanta. I'm hearing Atlanta that he's leaning towards Atlanta, and he's trying to go, get trying to get paid out in Atlanta. But I'm really hoping he stays with us, man. I think he has an opportunity for another championship here. I think if he goes to the Clippers, that makes them really scary. But if he stays with us, I think we're a lock to win it again. Even though that James Harden thing is a little bit crazy too.
Yeah, right. Like he's trying to go to the Nets with
Yeah, that's
Durant and Irving. So that if that happens, they're gonna be tough to beat too. It's gonna be an interesting um thing to watch them build chemistry because if you think about the way they play, they're all very ball dominant. Like the least ball dominant is Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant is better than both of them, at least in my eyes. I feel like Kevin Durant, at least before the injury, he was one of the top two, top three players in the league. So I think he deserves to get the ball to score, right? To just play offense the way he does.
all three of them are so good.
They are, they are.
Are so good. I don't think, and yeah, you're right in that they're all similar in that none of them are like a catch and shoot guy. They all ball dominant and can
Hmm.
create.
Hmm.
I think James Harden is like the best passer, so I think the offense would have to run through him, to because I think he's the best one to set others up.
Hmm.
I don't think Kevin Durant is as good as that
Hmm.
at that, and Kyrie Irving is a good passer also. I think James Harden is definitely the best playmaker out of the three. But yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant's just like range and shooting ability, and he's a matchup nightmare for anybody. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he comes back.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he comes back like 100%, because it's gonna be an interesting year, man. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm excited for the Lakers. I think they got a good shot to keep going.
Hmm.
Uh, but the Houston Rockets are in a tough place.
Yeah.
They're in a tough place because if the both their superstars demanded a trade.
Hmm.
So imagine just like both of your best players just they both say they want out, even though they're on contract. What do you do at that point?
Yeah, and it is tough. So let me get back to Rondo, and then I'll
Yeah,
comment on that too. But with Rondo, so my thought with Rondo is just like, okay, with the Lakers, he's a great asset, right? He's a great point guard. He fits perfectly. And I thought that being with the Lakers, he took a pay cut, right? And so I feel like him going to the Clippers, he's not going to get the most money that he can get with the Clippers either. Like he's gonna have to take a pay cut with them too because they already have, their ballers and Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So I don't think he's gonna get what he wants as far as money there. So I think if he wants the championship, he'll stay with the Lakers. If he's looking for money, then he'll go somewhere else where they'll be able to pay him more money. And he just got a ring, and you saw him step up in the playoff. Like playoff Rondo is real. Like that
yeah.
dude's there. So if any team makes it to the playoff with Rondo on their squad, they're gonna be good, right? So I think that's the options that he's thinking about, right? Either I go for another championship and take a pay cut, or I go somewhere else and get paid. So
You're thinking the Clippers are not an option for him. He's not really. He's kind of like not looking
uh,
at it seriously.
it, because why would he go there if he can't get the most money available that's out there? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like so he has the option of either going for a championship or going for the money. And if he's going for the championship, why would he leave the Lakers? You know what I mean? Like the Lakers are the defending champs, and they still got LeBron and AD. I'm sure he's gonna come back. He just wants to get paid too. He wants to get the
Yeah,
max contract. So that's why I don't see the Clippers as an option. I'd be surprised if he leaves the Lakers for the Clippers. I think if he leaves the Lakers, he's going somewhere else where they can give him the bag, like
Yeah,
just pay him. So
which I wouldn't be mad at him either. I wouldn't,
of course.
especially because I mean, what was it? 2 years ago, even last year, you looked at Rondo and it was kind of like, can he contribute to a team at what level?
Hmm.
And I think you're right. Where his value comes out is in the playoffs. I think in the regular season, he kind of, he just kind of cruises through, not cruises through, but he just gets by. He's a veteran, and then when the money's on the line, that's when he shows up. So I'm
Hmm.
hoping we keep him. I'm hoping we keep him. I'm hoping, but I wouldn't be mad at him if he chose to go to Atlanta and get paid either. What about Dwight Howard? What do you think about that?
I like him. I like his energy. I thought that whenever he came off the bench, the Lakers got a boost in energy, and just having him in the middle, just that defensive presence. Like he doesn't have the same balance as he used to, but he's still just a energetic, good center. He's nice. He's a nice player. So I think he still puts up just that front, that center that can go up and block shots, or at the very least just put his body on the line and make the easy layups hard layups. You know what I mean? So whenever he's there, I feel like the defense goes up. His offense is not the best, but we don't need him for offense. We need him just to be there for protecting the rim and grab some rebounds, and then give the ball to somebody else so the offense can start.
Yeah, and he battled Jokic, so
He
he
did.
got his head. So I just heard an interview with him, and it sounded like he really, 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 really wants to be with the Lakers.
Yeah.
He's talking about his wife who plays for the Sparks, and he wants to stay here so he could be close to his wife. So I've never seen his wife play, so I'm gonna be looking out for that, trying to
Mhm.
see, two ballers in the same city. That'd be pretty cool. I don't think that's ever happened on the Sparks and the Lakers. So,
Yeah.
um, but he did mention that he took a pay cut last year,
Mhm.
and that he felt like he earned a chance to get paid what he's worth. So I know he's probably expecting that from the Lakers. So we'll see. We'll see what the Lakers do. Ideally they give him what he's worth. But man, it's gonna be tough for him too. You
Yeah.
know, who else do we got on the Lakers that were?
Well, Kuz, right? We mentioned him a little bit already, and I think I almost feel like we have to keep him because he's like the youngest, one of the youngest dudes that we have. Like once LeBron is out, you know what I mean? Well, the next youngest is, or the next like superstar is AD, right? And he's what, like 27. So he's still young. So AD, if we can keep him around for a long time, that'll be perfect. But as far as young athletes, we don't have that many. We gave three of them away for AD, right?
Yeah,
Josh Hart and Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball. Like those were ballers, and we lost those young guys. So I feel like if we let go of Kuzma too, then the Lakers are not helping themselves with the young, fresh legs. You know what I mean? And I think Kuzma, he's a baller. I think he can ball. I think just with the Lakers, the way that they were positioned, like their lineup was positioned, he just didn't fit in as well as he did the previous years with the other young guys. So I think he still can, live with the Lakers. And then once like LeBron retires and some of the other veterans move out. And with Danny Green leaving or being traded away, Kuz is gonna get that role. I feel like he earned that role too. I felt like he showed that he can, make some buckets and make some threes. This is the same thing that Danny Green was doing. I feel like he can take that role now that Danny Green is gone.
and he did it up defensively a little bit. He showed a little
Mhm.
more effort, even though sometimes I felt like his footwork was like it just felt like he bit on all the pump fakes, and then it was
Yeah.
easy to kind of get around him. Like he squared his feet too much.
Yeah.
But I think I love Kuzma. I from when he was a rookie, I loved his kind of fearlessness that he showed up with. I mean, with LeBron though, he did feel awkward at times. So I'm hoping they're able to figure that out because, again, I root for Kuzma always. I think I've always been a Kuzma advocate, but it's tough, man. It's tough to see him kind of be so inconsistent too. I mean, if he was consistent and just even gave us like 14 points a night, and we knew that we could count on those 14, 15 points, cool, you know. But I think but sometimes we'll get 6 points, you
Yeah.
know. So it's like, Kuz, we don't know what we're getting from you, you know. So it's kind of like, which hurts his value too,
Mhm.
because he does want a bigger role in a different team, which I think he's of that mindset that he thinks he can probably lead a team also, you know. But I feel, I feel like as a player of his caliber, I think you should have that mindset that you could be, you know, among the top players on a top team. But he just hasn't shown it yet, you know. And I thought last year was gonna be the year that he had to show it. So this year it's kind of like, I don't know, but I root for him. If we keep him, you know, step up. But if we had to let him go, I also wouldn't be against it.
For sure.
If we got something really good in return. That's the other thing too, though, that you mentioned. You know, we don't want to get too sell our future away, and that he is our youngest piece. You know, so it'll have to be something that's really worth it to let him go. And I'm sure the Lakers are doing that because they seem to, you know, that front office, they seem to be hitting on all cylinders every single time, man. They seem to pull out moves that you think like, wait, did other teams really just agree to make the Lakers, you know, better in that way? So it's
Yeah. Yeah. And it is just like hard to think about those moves, like which moves can they make, right? Because the team that they had this last season, it just seemed like they fit somehow. They figured it out to like solve the puzzle and get a championship, right? So next year, if they move too many pieces in and out, like that's gonna change the chemistry. And that, I feel like that was huge for them this last season. They kept talking about everybody having fun, everybody getting along, everybody just, just playing together and building that chemistry. So if too many pieces are moving around, like 2 years ago, right? Like 2 years ago, a bunch of new players came in, right? LeBron's first year, when he brought in, a bunch of new players. So I feel like that can have a big impact on them trying to go for a second championship in a row. So I love the first move they made already with, trading Danny Green for Schroeder. So as far as like centers, I feel like Dwight Howard and McGee are a perfect 1-2 punch. So I don't think they need to change centers. They got AD, for the power forward, and he can back up center as well if they need that. So that, but as far as power forwards, behind him, they probably put Marcus Morris, right? He's somebody that they put there, and then LeBron, obviously small forward, because now he doesn't really have to be a point guard since they got Schroeder. He can, run the ball, start, and then if Rondo stays, they got 2 point guards. So shooting guards, Caldwell Pope, and then Avery Bradley. So Avery Bradley, I think he's in a test free agency as well.
Mhm. Which is interesting. To be honest, we won it without him. So Avery Bradley, I would, you know, if obviously another player that it's like it'd be great if you had him. Um, but if we lost him, it's kind of like we did it without him. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like whatever about Avery Bradley. Now Rondo. Now here's the thing you brought up, the chemistry, which is I think the most important. It's like this. Let's say we keep Rondo, we keep KCP, we keep Dwight Howard, keep Kuzma, and we bring everybody back as is, with the addition of Schroeder. Would we? Is that a repeat team?
I think so. I believe so. I think if we look at the finals, right, Miami Heat versus Lakers, um, the Heat, we haven't seen many changes come from them, right? Which makes sense because they have their superstar, right, and then they have the young stars that are only gonna get better next season.
Mhm.
So that to me kind of makes sense. Like they're only going to be a better team next season. Um, so if we look at that, I think if the Lakers keep the same team they have right now and then just add a few pieces here and there, like Schroeder, I think he's a great addition. I think they'll have a chance again to repeat, right? Like on the East, we got to see who steps up. Like KD can come back and make the Nets a lot better.
Yeah.
Um, so
Now, what if that James Harden move to Brooklyn comes through? What happens there? If all we do is add Schroeder and keep everybody else,
mhm,
and that James Harden, that three-headed monster of Kyrie,
mhm.
Kevin Durant, James Harden versus our current Lakers, what do you think about our chances there?
That would be tough, bro. That would definitely be tough to beat a three-headed monster like you said, because we've seen three-headed monsters before, right? We've seen the Miami Heat with Wade, Bosh, and LeBron, and they won titles. Then we saw the Golden State Warriors, right, with their beasts that they had. So they won championships. So it takes a lot to beat those teams, but it can happen, right? And LeBron beat the Golden State Warriors. You're right. So we have the guy that can beat those type of teams. Um,
And
so
the one thing I would say about those two teams, Miami Heat, Big Three, and the Golden State Big Three, is that it was always a brand of like unselfish basketball,
mhm,
which I don't know if that would be the same for Brooklyn Nets
yeah,
because you got Kyrie and you got James Harden, and even Kevin Durant is, I don't think he's a selfish player, but I don't think he's also like a facilitator in the way that
mhm,
Steph Curry or LeBron were. So I
mhm,
don't think the ball will be moving as much as it did. So I feel like it'll be a lot of ISO. So while they would have a three-headed monster, I think I still would go with the Lakers, even if we just add Schroeder. I think I'd still
yeah,
go with the Lakers. I don't think they have an answer for Anthony Davis. The only thing would be defensively, man. I think we'd be asking a lot of Caruso to step up, and which we haven't talked about, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
goat. Yeah,
Caruso, I think Caruso would be up for the challenge for Kyrie. LeBron would probably go on, man, I don't know, James Harden or Kevin Durant, and then it's like who are we putting on the other guy? Are we
yeah,
putting Kuzma on the guy? Are we putting? Then we're kind of like, but then I don't think they have an answer to Anthony Davis, so
yeah.
um, we can't. That the matchups would cancel each other out there, but it'd be a tough matchup for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and to go back with like the Rockets having to get rid of their two superstars, like that's crazy to see as well, right? To just kind of see that franchise pivot into something else. And to me it kind of makes sense because they've been trying this system for so long, right? James Harden has been with them for 8 years, right? Mike D'Antoni has been trying to just build a team around him. He's been the focus out of all these years, and it's worked out, but it's never been enough to push them to win a title, right? So now the interesting thing is to see how many assets they can get from trading those two superstars, so then they can kind of start the rebuilding process.
Yeah, although I don't think they're gonna be able to get much because it's kind of clear that those guys want out.
Hmm.
So that it's they're almost in a tough position. They're in a really tough position because teams are gonna be like, hey, your guy wants to leave. We're not desperate for a trade. It's you guys that are desperate for a trade. So
True.
I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them that both players came up to them. The James Harden thing definitely surprised me. Russell Westbrook, I could see he's only been there, not that long. So James Harden, that organization just believed in him, and they
Hmm.
put all their eggs into the James Harden basket, and then he kind of said, "Hey, man, I want out." And the Houston Rockets, I feel like they're always one of those franchises that is always competing. They're always trying to compete. They had the Yao Ming and Ron Artest days.
Hmm.
Uh,
T
um,
Mac,
yeah, they
Steve
had the
Francis.
yeah they've always had some baller teams.
Oh yeah.
Rafer Alston. They've always had some really really good, some competitive teams. And then Yeah, it seems like if both of those guys are gone, it's gonna be a tough time for them. But I like them as an organization too. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. But I do think that it was time for a change. The system just didn't work. They tried it in so many different ways, right? They tried different players and it just didn't work. So it was time to move on and try something different.
yeah, I think their best shot was that year with Chris Paul.
Yeah. If he didn't get that hamstring injury, man, they were so close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like the fourth quarter, right? The last couple minutes of the fourth
Yeah.
quarter, he pulls his hamstring.
It's so
Um,
crazy. It's like they're cursed.
yeah.
Uh, and then so other trades. So Chris Paul going to the Phoenix Suns, like that's interesting.
That's interesting. I feel bad for Chris Paul, because I feel like he's been bouncing around so much at the end of his career. I think he's he probably deserves better than that. But hey, man,
No, you know why I don't feel bad? Because he's getting paid, bro. No
yeah,
matter how many times he gets traded, he's making bank.
yeah, he's
He
getting
got
paid. All those teams are paying him.
Yeah, he got a nice like 4-year contract when he was with the Houston Rockets like 2 years ago. So that contract's still there, right? And he's like 36, still making like max money, So I'm sure he
He deserves
probably
it, though.
was that.
He deserves
Oh
it
yeah,
though.
oh
He's,
yeah, Hall of Famer for sure. He's one of the best point guards ever.
he's a Clipper though, so that Clipper curse is following him around too.
He should have been a Laker though, bro. And there
Yeah,
were some rumors about him maybe coming to LA as well.
yeah, but I think it would have been too much money, and the Lakers. I don't think
Yeah.
the Lakers wanted that.
Yeah. I don't think they could have afforded three just max contracts.
That
So
would have
that's
been crazy. That would have been crazy. That would
oh
have been
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, if you would have been with the Lakers, that would have been it. For sure, another championship. Um, and then the other one, Drew Holiday to the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's interesting. I think the Bucks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but this year I think that to bounce out of the playoffs the way they did this year, I feel like is it's tough to shake that as a team, and I think they still got a core of their team, so it's 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 kind of a cloud hanging over their head. Drew Holiday is good. I don't know if he's enough to get them. I think they're definitely a candidate to make the Eastern Conference Finals and even to make the finals, but for them to be champions, I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be harder. Yeah, because I agree. Drew Holiday is a great player, but I don't think he is a superstar. And I thought they gave up a lot of different assets to get him.
Mhm.
Um,
Their future, right? They give a lot of their future. So
yeah, draft picks, a lot of draft picks, which obviously if they continue winning a lot of games during the season, then their draft picks are not high draft picks, but still at the end of the day, they're not getting rookies for the next few years, first rounders for the next few years. So that's huge. That hurts the future. Like you said, especially with Giannis, like hopefully he stays with them and gets the max contract, right? I feel like that's the reason they made this move to like show him, hey, we want you to win a championship here with us. We want you to get the max contract. We're gonna bring another, player, another good player, another nice player. He's not a superstar. We can't afford another superstar. Maybe they could. I don't even know about
they
the
probably could. It's just I don't think many superstars at that level want to go to Milwaukee. So
that
it's
too.
kind of a tough sell. So
Yeah.
um, I agree though. I hope Giannis stays there. Even if it's a short term deal, I think that's what would best suit both of them to like do like a 2 year type of
Mm.
deal. To say, hey, let's really give it another shot. But if he goes, it's gonna be crazy. If he goes wherever he goes, because I'm hearing what Golden State.
Yeah.
If he goes to Golden State, it's over, man. I'm
Because
sorry, but
Golden State still has like a nice team, man. So hopefully Clay Thompson, it's not huge and he'll be healthy and ready to go for the season. But they still got Draymond Green,
Mhm.
Steph Curry, and now they just added Weissman, right? He's a great superstar, great rookie. So he's gonna come in and start, and just ball out. So they're still a great team. So adding Giannis to that team, there's no way they're losing. Just a dominant inside force with Giannis just being able to like sidestep from the free throw line, and then Steph Curry shooting bombs
Yeah,
from the half court. It's
yeah.
over. It's over.
That'll be unstoppable, man.
Oh
I think
yeah.
it'll be more unstoppable than their Kevin Durant days. But
Yeah.
man, yeah, that'll be interesting. But Giannis, I think his decision is gonna play a big part of kind of what the league does.
Hmm.
So that'll be interesting to watch also.
Yeah.
Man, it seems like Golden State is always just like kind of in the mix somehow.
Yeah, they are, and OKC too. I feel like they've been a surprising team the last couple of years, right? They've tried so many different things as well, like having Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook together. That didn't really work out. But from trying those things, they've been able to come up with a lot of draft picks and a lot of young athletes. So I think that their future, is bright. Like they have a lot of assets, and they can either keep those draft picks or trade them, right? And put them in a package to get a superstar in there. So I feel like in the next few years, OKC is gonna be a nice team.
Yeah. What about Portland? What do you see with Portland?
I haven't heard anything from them.
Yeah, I haven't heard much either. So I'm just kind of like, are you guys just hanging out or?
Right? Yeah, no, I do feel like they need to make some moves though, because we've seen them the last 2 years, right? Like they've been close, but they don't have enough juice. They even Lillard, and CJ, they're great players, but I think they're still missing something. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, and I think an inside presence, unless
Nurkic, he was kind of that inside presence for them. Uh,
yeah, who knows? I don't know what they could add
yeah,
that can compete, especially in the West. But you never know because they made the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago.
yeah,
They lost to the champions this year, and so they're a good team, and I think
yeah.
they got some stuff, but it just they're not making no moves, and that's kind of what's weird.
Yeah, yeah. Damian Lillard, I think he just ran out of juice this season. Like he played his heart out the last 8 games of the season to get into the playoffs, and then in the playoffs, he was playing hard. I think he just ran out of juice.
Yeah, unfortunate, but
Yeah,
that's why you gotta have multiple people that can carry a load. Because yeah, he was
yeah.
carrying the team. He was definitely carrying the team.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. But I'm excited. So this season should be starting in December, which is crazy. Just
I feel like we just finished watching basketball. It's already starting again.
yeah. But something that's interesting is that there's no more bubble, right? So now the each team is supposed to have the games in their arenas, but COVID cases are starting to rise again. So I'm curious about how that's going to affect the decision they made to have games in their arenas, right? I wonder if that is going to come into play a little bit, like if they are going to change their mind about starting the season in the middle of December, or if they're going to try to have another bubble, right? Because places are starting to shut down again.
Yeah, no, that's definitely gonna be interesting because um, it's such a long season too, So that's gonna be really interesting to see how that plays out. When somebody tests positive, because it's gonna happen. It's unavoidable. It's gonna happen. People are gonna test positive.
Mhm.
So are they gonna cancel games? Are they gonna postpone games? And then how's that gonna affect the seeding? That's gonna be really interesting to watch. So, but I mean,
Mhm.
it's the reality that I think all the leagues are facing right now. So something
Yeah,
to watch.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But I'm excited. Sports. It's always fun to distract ourselves a little bit with sports. Uh, I I do miss playing basketball myself. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't touched a basketball since March, so it's sad.
You run fives, huh?
Oh yeah,
You're a
oh yeah.
shooter.
Was that?
You're a shooter.
Um, Honestly, I'm a passer, bro. I'm a passer first. I like to drive in and look for the pass. Um, as far as shooting, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't shoot it too much. I rather, but I gotta change my game to be honest with you because I'm getting older. You know, I can't be just like explosive down in and try to like hit some bodies and then like go up for the layup or go for the pass. I feel like that's a young man's game and I'm running out of juice in that. So I gotta start shooting a little bit more and getting nice with my shot.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like a good 5-on-5 pickup game, man. There's nothing like that.
Yeah, no, the last month that we were able to do that in March, I was starting to go to the LA Fitness close to my house, and they have an indoor court in there, so it was perfect. Just like walking distance and go ball, and there was a bunch of people in there playing, so it was definitely
It's
nice to just
different.
get that 5-on-5.
Yeah, I miss that too, man. I miss that too. It's been a while. It's been like what I think like 2 years for me since I got
Okay.
a good 5-on-5 game in. So
Yeah.
I'll probably be rusty.
Yeah, bro, and so I did that, and then I was also coaching the basketball team for Marshall High School. So I got the opportunity to play with my freshman and sophomore team. Like I got in there whenever there was only 9 players, I would get in there and I would play with them, and they're either my height or a lot taller than me. You know what I mean? This 15-year-olds, but it was fun to play with them as well. And with them, it was a lot easier to drive in and pass the ball. And my mentality with that was to show them, just to teach them like, hey, you can do different things, but as a point guard, like you want to involve your teammates. You know what I mean? You want to keep the ball moving and like figure out how to like get yourself open so you can get the ball, you can drive in. So I was trying to like just teach them while playing at the same time. And I'm a point guard, so that was my style.
All right.
I would rarely shoot, and the only time I took layups was when nobody else was open. um
Who would you describe your game like?
Okay. Damn. That's a good question. That's a good question. I like to say Chris Paul, except I don't take enough mid-range shots.
Okay.
Like I said, I just dribble in because of my quickness. I can go left or right, drive in, and then pass. So whoever does that, whatever NBA player does that, uh,
uh,
I was getting nice with the little floaters as well, just throwing them over the centers. I was practicing that a lot. Um, but I like to say Chris Paul. That's a guy that I watch his game. I like his game. Um, and Chris Paul, his game revolves around the pick and rolls a lot as well, right? He gets the pick and roll and he pops into the free throw line and gets those mid range shots easy. Or if they double team him, then he'll pass it down low or to the side, and so that takes another player to. You have to have that chemistry with your bigs to get you those screens and roll right or pop. And so that's something that I never had with when I'm playing 5-on-5. Like it's just random people, and sometimes I'm like, hey, let me get a pick. But they come and they give me the pick. And then it's like awkward after that. Like
a role.
there's no role or you know what I mean? Like also the defenders. So I think because of that, I wasn't able to like get mid-range shots in my game. I was just like, fuck it, I'll drive in and I'll figure it out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, we'll have to play sometime, man.
Definitely, bro. Are you on NBA 2K?
Nah, man, I stay away from the video games because I got too. I've been playing FIFA a little bit. I've been playing a little bit of FIFA,
Okay.
but I try to stay away from the video games just because I'll get consumed in it. I'm competitive, man. I'm competitive, so if I'm not the best at it, I don't want to be doing it because if
Got it.
I don't like losing.
I gotcha. All right. All right. Well, if you want to get a game on FIFA, let me know because I got that and I got NBA 2K as well. So
All
that's
right,
something
cool,
we
cool.
can we
I might
can
see you on FIFA. I might see you on some FIFA.
for sure. Definitely, dude. Definitely. Yeah. Now I'm doing the gaming part of it. Is I love video gaming,
Yeah,
but
you have that the podcast too, the active variable, right?
yeah, bro. So my goal with that is well first, gaming for me, it's like I love gaming, but I also want to connect with people and like I connect with my family, like my sisters, my cousins play Fortnite. I got friends that play Call of Duty. So I use it as a way to connect as well with
You try
friends
to
and
play all
family.
of them. You try to play all the games just to play with people.
Yeah, exactly. I'll try a game. Like if you tell me, hey bro, I've been playing this game, it's dope, it's multiplayer, I'll be like, all right, let's try it, let's hop on, let's get a game, let's try it out, just to stay connected, especially with the pandemic going on. Like, we can't go out to places and chill. We can't go play ball in real life. So let's just play 2K and get a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's go to the neighborhood. Like NBA 2K has a neighborhood. We can go and play 2-on-2 against two people from somewhere in the world. So I use gaming for that. But with the active variable, yeah. So my goal with the active variable is to use my education and experience as an athletic trainer to
Mhm.
help gamers with their own health, right? Because when you think about it, as a gamer, your practices. I'm thinking esports, right? So like professional esports players. I'm thinking, they're when they practice, they're sitting. When they're playing their games, their tournaments, they're sitting. So there's some chronic injuries that can develop over time because
Mhm.
of all the hours that you spend sitting. So I want to bring in my education and experience and teach them, educate them on how to sit properly, and then like have good posture, and then also how we can do exercises to help you when you're not sitting, when you're not playing, right? So that we can increase your health. And I feel like when you are physically in shape, when you're physically better, your mind thinks better, right?
Right.
And that connection is going to make you a better esports player. So
Mhm.
that's my perspective with the active variable. That's what I want to bring to the table. And I'm still just trying to like put the pieces together. I've been doing the podcast, which is great, but there's still more that I want to do, with that.
So that, I mean, that's like such an interesting little space,
Hmm.
that it like it makes a lot of sense, but it's not something that I would ever think about, like
Yeah.
athletic training for for video games. That is like, when you talk about it, I'm sure you're like a pioneer in this. I don't know how many people are doing that type of work. So, man, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I started it in March of this year, actually. But I've with time, and right, especially with the pandemic, like esports has exploded. So there are I've noticed that there are a couple of other companies that are pushing it, that are pushing the health for esports athletes. And I think it's great. Um I when I first started it, I didn't know of anything, going on like that. So I'm glad and I'm happy that exists, because at the end of the day, it is a sport, right? We don't think about it in the same way as we think of basketball or football, but it is a sport. It is competitive, right?
Right.
It does challenge you in many ways. You have to practice, you have to get better at your skill. And so with that in mind, we gotta think about how we can help you increase your performance, right? And I think just being physically strong, having a strong core so that your lower back doesn't bother you, having good posture so that your shoulders and neck don't bother you, throughout the day, because you've been sitting and you've been rounded the whole time, right? Um, and what's interesting and something new that I've been thinking more about is that I was gearing all this towards esports gamers, but now with people working from home, they're
Yep.
also sitting down for hours, right? So then the the education component that I want to bring to gamers is something that can easily transition to people that are working from home. And
Or
also,
in an office, or in the office setting, even if they're not working from home.
exactly, no, definitely. And then I've been also doing some trading with the stock market, and
Mhm.
and that's grown too, right? In this pandemic, I've heard of just like that thing popping off, like Robinhood and Webull and E-Trade, and like all these companies blowing up because people are home and they're just like, let me figure out how I can make some money. So traders, it's growing, like people playing the Wall Street game, right? Like it's growing. And what do they do? They're in front of their screen watching the stock market, watching charts, and they're just sitting rounded, you know what I mean? So that's another demographic of people that I can reach with that same education.
Well, man, I'm excited to hear more, to learn more. I know I could use some of that. I myself, my work is very different. One day I'll be in the field all day, one day I'll be in the office all day,
Mhm.
just on my computer. So I know there's times where I'm just kind of like I have to stand up and start working standing up.
Yes.
Trying to be ergonomically aware. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's important. And that's the first step. You having the self-awareness to know, okay, I've been sitting for an hour, maybe I should stand and walk around a little bit, you know? So yeah, man. So that's huge, but yeah, so what's up with you with your music, man? What's going on?
Black Friday, man, the album is ready.
Yeah. All right.
Silly Rabbit, Dreams Are for Kids. Black Friday is a release date. It's 9 songs. It's ready to go. Man, I'm just so excited. I've been so happy. It's like the only thing that I've been talking about to everybody. So my friends, everybody who sees me really often,
Mm-hmm.
is probably annoyed of me about how much I talk about it. But it's been 2 years in the making, and at this point, it's just I can't even, I just want people to hear it.
Dope. Hell yeah, man. I definitely want to hear that. So how could we have access to it Black Friday?
um, so it'll be available on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Tidal. It'll be available on everything. It's gonna be at noon next Friday, Black Friday. So after
Awesome.
you after you after you eat your turkey, with your family, while you're doing some trying to find the best deal on your next whatever gadget you're trying to get, make sure you got your headphones on or you're bumping Silly Rabbit Dreams Are for Kids. It's really fun, man. It's really fun. I think if for people who've been kind of listening to my music, to the work that I've done in the past, I definitely push some boundaries and explore different sounds, and um, have different kind of influences, kind of explore myself as an artist a little more. So I'm excited for people to hear that. Been getting positive feedback, from people that have had some listens. So I'm just excited, man. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah, no, I'm excited too, bro. Yeah, I know you've been talking about it for a while, so it's gonna be nice to hear it and just support you and just spread the word just to let it catch some fire.
Oh man, it has a potential, man. There's a couple tracks on there that could be like big tracks, but
Yeah,
uh, and
dope.
it's storytelling in there that tells some of the things that I've been going through, that I've kind of struggled with or grown through. So it's fun. It's gonna be fun.
And you did some writing, you did some rapping, you did some producing, you did a lot of different roles on this, right?
Yeah, so different. I would say it's about 65 to 70% produced by me. Everything that I'm vocalizing is written by me. There's some guest production by a couple other producers. There's three people that guest produced on it, and then there's a couple people that are featured. I think there's three or four features also. But it just came together perfectly too, man. It's kind of effortlessly the way it came together. Like I wasn't even expecting it to come together like that. Just picture like you start a painting and you don't know what you're painting, but at the end of when you're done painting what you wanted to paint, you didn't know what you wanted to paint, but you painted exactly what you wanted to paint.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the best way I can explain it. It wasn't intentional, but it was what I wanted.
Dope. Yeah.
So
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, and yeah, and it sounds like you had a lot of support from different artists too, which is great. It's always nice to have other people want to be part of, your dream, right? Just you like you say, you have something in your head, and then you start it, you get the ball rolling, and then you get other people to kind of help you with that ball, and then at the end you're like, oh shit, that actually looks pretty good.
And that speaks, volumes to making dreams real, because I've always been an advocate of like anything is possible, right?
Hmm.
I'm a huge advocate on anything is possible, and to me this project is kind of the epitome of anything is possible, because 3 years ago I didn't have these skills, and now I can put a whole album together.
Yeah.
It's not easy, man. It takes hours and 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 hours.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was gonna say though. Like, you've been working on this, like you said, for 2 years. So it's something that took a lot of effort and sacrifice, and now that you're done and you're gonna put it out in the world, it's just like, well, here's my baby, like go out there and live, go and make some other dreams come true, right? Because this is where like inspiration comes into play as well. Like something inspired you to make this come true, and now with this creation, this product that you're letting out into the world, it's going to inspire other artists and other people to continue to pursue their own dreams as well.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm not sure if I've mentioned to you this to you in the past, but it's like I just little by little started seeing other people believe and kind of get momentum toward the same direction that I wanted to also, where it's just, everybody for around me for one reason or another is kind of walking towards a similar goal,
Hmm.
which, it took me myself doing what I want to do, and then all of a sudden I see people around me start doing things that they've always wanted to do,
Yeah.
not necessarily in music, but just in exploring their own talents, their own wishes, their own wants, their own dreams, so that's really beautiful. I know as I see you always working, I see everybody, and this is what LA is made of. I think we're the best city in the world. We just got 2 championships, uh, and we got the most creative people. We're trying to create,
Yeah.
create new roles like what you're doing. Um, new sounds, new everything, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
No, it's dope, man. And so is this under 1, 2, 3, 4 the dream?
correct. So one, two,
Okay.
three, four. The dream is I like to the Sueño team. That there's a few of us that are kind of involved in the music, a little bit of on the production side, on the rapping side, as well as the videography side, documentation of moments type of thing. So it'll be in the link for 1, 2, 3, 4. The dream. That's the Sueño team. That's basically I describe it as the TDE. The TDE kind of the house that has all these different elements, these different artists, these different creators. TDE or Dreamville. I like to call it the Latino Dreamville. So um,
Dope.
that's what Sueño is. And again, I tell people, if you believe in the Sueño, the Sueño believes in you. So
Yeah.
I just think it's inclusive to everybody who's working towards anything.
I
Yeah.
like it. That's dope, bro. Awesome. Yeah, man. No, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. I'm happy, that things worked out, and I'm excited to hear it for sure.
Appreciate that, man. It's been a while, and I've been talking about it for a minute, but it's here. It's here.
Dope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Cool. Well, that's all I got for today. I think the NBA is making some moves, and we're both making some moves.
Hell yeah.
So hopefully, life gets a little bit better soon. We got some vaccine news, so hopefully all that works itself out, and people are able to just get a little bit of production going on and making some money to get back and living a comfortable life. So we'll see how the next few months work out.
Yeah. Despite all the madness this year, it's been a good year, man. It's been a great year.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. But it's always about the dream. Like you always got to have a dream and keep pushing forward and keep trying regardless of things that are out of your control.
Yeah. Yeah. All right,
Cool.
man. Well, good catching up to you. Always good chatting about basketball. I can't wait for the season to start.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
and listen to that album, man, and we'll talk after.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a plan for sure, brother. Yeah, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you coming
All
on
right,
here.
thank you, brother. Take
All right.
care.
Peace out, dude.
Late.